Hello everyone and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday the 23rd of April 2021 and first of all I'd like to start by wishing you all a very happy St George's Day. Um, right, let's not waste any time and let's get on with stuff this week because there's been a lot happening. Since our last podcast, a European Super League came along and went again within about a space of 48 to 72 hours. It basically shook the world of football to its core and I'm pleased to say that from my point of view this Super League looks like it's going to go ahead now. There's not many teams left in it. Most of the teams have withdrawn. Real Madrid, Florentine Perez, the chairman there, the owner, is saying that president, is saying that it's still going to go ahead. Hopefully, Barcelona haven't totally backed out. Joan Laporte said he's still in favour of it in principle, and Juventus are sort of like hovering between yes and no. But the rest of the teams seem to have withdrawn. I don't see any benefits to it personally. I've not seen anybody I know sees any real benefits to it or any favour of the league going ahead. If you are in favour of the league going ahead, if you'd like to maybe leave a comment below the video just to state why you think it's a good idea to have a Super League, and then we can look at those and comment in response to those. So we'll move on from the controversy of the Super League now anyway and talk about the Premier League. We've had some games during the week. Going back to Monday, Leeds and Liverpool 1-1. Good result for Leeds there. Liverpool started the game well, faded out a little bit in the second half. We've not been at it this season as much as they need to be, and perhaps they've realised now that even the hopes to top four may be slipping away because they need to win some of these games. They're losing ground on Leicester, West Ham and Chelsea a little bit, so they need to pick the game up if they're going to make it into the Champions League next season. Otherwise they'll be settling for a place in the Europa League and Thursday night football next season. Chelsea actually played Tuesday night against Brighton. They drew 0-0. And again, in that game, towards the end, Brighton looked the team more likely to win. They played really well and defended well and sort of got a few good attacks in towards the end. If it had some, like a proper striker instead of having like Welbeck and Lallana, they may well have won the game. Good result for Tottenham and Man City. Tottenham beating Southampton 2-1 Wednesday night, and Man City beating Villa 2-1. Both sides reduced to 10 men. Thursday last night saw Leicester comfortably at West Brom 3-0. Nice to see Jamie Vardy back on the score sheet with a nice goal and assist for Kelechi Iheanacho. So that was comfortable. West Brom is getting close to curtains for them now, I think. They've got to win at least 5 out of the last 6 games, so it's not looking too good. The next round of games actually starts this evening. Arsenal against Everton is live on Sky Sports this evening, I believe. Then the big game of the weekend in the Premier League is Leeds against Manchester United, Sunday afternoon, 2:05 I think it is, kick-off. That's most football fans around this area certainly would say that's a bigger game than Tottenham against Manchester City, which is the Carabao Cup final, which I need to mention. That's followed straight on after the Leeds-Manchester United game again on Sky. We've got a BT Sport game. Villa are playing West Brom Sunday evening. So I think I've picked out the highlights of the weekend's games. There's games all the way through till Monday, and then the Champions League recommences on Tuesday. We've got Chelsea playing Real Madrid in the first leg of the semi-final on Tuesday evening, and then we've got the big one between Man City and PSG on Wednesday evening, their first leg match, and we've got the Europa League semi-finals as well there on Thursday evening. So the best of luck there to Manchester United against Roma. And then we've got Arsenal against Villarreal and a reunion with their previous manager Unai Emery, so that could be interesting. But good luck to both teams there. So moving away from European and Premier League football, we're going to talk about non-league football now. National League, FC Halifax Town doing really, really well this season. And another great result on Tuesday night, a victory away at Chesterfield 2-1. We're up against it quite a bit towards the end of the second half, probably for most of the second half really, but they dug in and fought really hard, and the 2 first half goals from Jeff King and Jake Hyde were enough to see him home, although Chesterfield did pull one back through Cairo Mitchell in the second half. But they defended stoutly and eventually got the result they probably deserved, although Chesterfield didn't seem to think we did deserve to win, but that's not our problem. But we're now in 5th place in the league, and we can cement our position in the playoffs with the next 3 games all being at home. We play Bromley at home tomorrow at the Shea at 3 o'clock. And then we've got Tuesday evening, we're playing Woking at home. And then next Saturday, a big game against Stockport. Well, it's a big game for Stockport because I think they're a big time Charlie club. Sorry Stockport fans if you're watching, but you do. If you've got anything to say about that, without being rude, please leave them in the comments below. But yeah, in all seriousness, Stockport are a good team. Paddy Madden's going to be a threat now they've signed him, so they keep signing players like Chesterfield. The other thing about Chesterfield is that I think they're six. Rem and Wrexham are 6 and 7 to play each other tomorrow, so hopefully that'll end in a draw. It's probably the best result for the Shaman to give us a little bit more breathing space as we try and win those games. But we really need to concentrate not on the other teams but on our own performances. Make sure we get the points on the board, and we can't blame anybody else. And we've got to have trust in Pete Wild and Billy. So let's see if we can do it in the next few games. Cement that place. It'd be nice to finish higher up the table so we can at the very least, get a home game in the playoffs preliminary stage. So fingers crossed that the Shaman can do that. Okay, so we're going to move on from football now, and we're going to talk about snooker. Snooker World Championship is underway. Judd Trump is the favourite. He started well. He won his first game comfortably. I think it was Highfield he beat in the first round. Obviously, people will look at the defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's come for his first get round okay, but he's currently 9 frames to 5 down against Anthony McGill. So he could be in danger of going out here. The other player I think to watch out for is Neil Robertson again. I think he was a third favourite at the start of the tournament. He's always liable. He's a very good quality player. He's one to watch, I think. Other people might have fancies for stuff of people like Barry Hawkins and Karen Wilson, who played each other this morning. It was 2 frames over last time I looked at the score. So I've had friends who've been to the Crucible this week. They've been fortunate enough to get tickets in the COVID restricted this social distancing opportunity to go and actually watch it. I'm sure they've enjoyed it. If you've got any comments about whether you enjoyed it, how good it was, anything you want to say about your experience there, put those in the comments below if you'd like to, please. So the Snooker World Championship continues. Moving on to darts. The Premier League darts reached the end of stage 1 last night. Normally it's called Judgment Night, but it just got changed to Night 9 simply because of the fact that the 2 people who could be eliminated at the stage have already been eliminated. Glenn Durrant, I don't think he scored a point in the entire stage. He's had a really bad time, but he was defending champion, but he's had lots of issues with health, COVID related stuff and form and things going on in his private life, I believe. So I don't know much about that bit, but he's really struggled to score any points at all, and he's really up against it. And Rob Cross, who actually beat him 7-5 last night, has also gone out. It was decided before last night that he'd not got enough points to get through, so they were both out. So far, Nathan Aspinall, top of the table with 13 points, and second place is Dimitri van den Berg, who's actually got a slightly less inferior legs superiority difference. He's on 13 points as well. And then Michael van Gerwen's in third place, I think, on 12. He suffered a second defeat last night to Johnny Clayton. Second defeat of the season so far. He's not quite on his best at the moment, Michael. But I'm sure he'll be there or thereabouts when it comes to the big one at the end of the year in the World Championship. So just keep an eye on what goes on. The next stage is a little way away now, I think, but maybe a couple of weeks or so before they start again. So, but it'll be interesting to see how whether Aspinall and van den Berg can stay up there. Aspinall, I think, got to the final last time from Brightly, so he's obviously come on leaps and bounds in the last probably 2 or 3 years. He's a really good player. So he is something good about Stockport. So I couldn't have to get that dig in there. So. And moving on now from darts, we're going to talk about cricket. Talk about Yorkshire first of all. Yorkshire have made a bit of a hit and miss start to the season in the county championship. They'd had a disappointing draw to start with, then they had a victory. So they had a disappointing draw against Glamorgan, and then they beat Kent, and now they're playing Sussex and didn't make the best of starts. They were bowled all out for 150 yesterday. Only Anthony Live getting more than double. Well, he scored 42. I think next best score were 18. Root only scored 5, but it's not a great start. And when I looked at stumps last night, Sussex were 118 for 3 in reply, and one of their players was on 71. I think it was a lad that used to play for Haynes. I think he used to play for Warwickshire. Michael know that, so you better tell me that. 71 out, so it looked like they could be up against it in this game. Now moving on to local league cricket, and we had the first round of games last weekend, and the interesting thing about last weekend's games were that all the teams that batted first won their matches. They were convincing victories for Bradshaw and also for Illingworth St Mary's. So that's good news for those guys. I got a brief report on the Bradshaw game from Cy Collins just to let me know that Jonathan Lister played a fantastic innings of 52, and that's set the foundation. They got 181. Did Bradshaw. I think it was 181 for 8 they scored. Yeah. And in response, Blackley were bowled all out for 43, and we had some 5 wickets apiece for Aaron Buckley and Anthony Langton. Simon said in a report that it was particularly sweet for Langton because he was playing against his former team, and Aaron basically bowled with relentless accuracy, and that's why he took 5 for 10, which is a really good return. So no doubt that'll buoy up the Bradshaw boys, and I'll be looking forward to the weekend's game against Thornton, which leads us nicely onto the game I was going to talk about next, which was Thornton against Sorby Bridge. A very high scoring game between the two teams. Thornton coming out on top. Josh Hutchinson scored a magnificent 164 and Nicky Hutchinson scored 58 in their total of 312 for 7. Sorby Bridge put up a brave fight. They scored 279 and Lord Chris Metcalf scored 93 and Matic scored 62. So yeah, it's a decent fight, but unfortunately it's just come up short. The other convincing victory of the weekend was Illingworth St Mary's game against Shelf North Arm Hedgetop, who were beat by 114 runs. McMood got 56 and Ben Robertshaw scored 53. They helped to see Illingworth over the line. The other victories went to Triangle and to to Triangle, that's right, and to Worley. Thought I got that wrong then, but that's right, yeah. So that's what happened last weekend. Now this weekend, let's say Bradshaw have got Thornton at home, Booth are at home to Worley, Copley are at home to Shelton North Arm Hedgetop, Illingworth St Mary's play Blackley, and SBCI Sowerbridge Church Institute are at home to Ivanroyd. As far as I'm aware, the Sorby Bridge game against Triangle has been cancelled due to, unfortunately, a positive COVID test from one of the Sorby Bridge players. So first of all, I just want to wish all the best to the person concerned for a quick and speedy recovery. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but obviously we need to be careful in these times. So yes, sending all the best to the Sorby Bridge player, and hopefully that game can be rearranged as such, as and when it's appropriate, really. So that's what's coming up in the Cricket League, Halifax Cricket League. If you want to have any input about the Cricket League, obviously Simon said he'll send me a report, an update on the Bradshaw games every weekend. But if you want to have any input, just leave me some comments or send me a private message. I'm happy to give any publicity to the local leagues such as Halifax Cricket League. It's always good to be able to get local people on board and have local sportsmen there, people recognised for the part they play in keeping things going at this really difficult time. We're almost out of it now, but it's still not the best of times, so let's be positive. Okay, so before I finish this week's podcast, I've got one more subject I want to talk about, and that's Rugby League. And I want to talk about Halifax Panthers. They had 2 games so far. They had a convincing win against London Broncos in an opening game, and then a painful late defeat against Bradford Bulls last week at Dewsbury. They were 14-0 up at one stage, but they ended up losing by the narrowest of margins by 27-26. I think it was a Josh Lilly drop goal, but eventually settled the game in favour of the Bulls. So Halifax will be looking to fight back this weekend and get back on the right track with a victory against Toulouse, who will play at the Shea at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So fingers crossed the Panthers can get themselves back on track with a victory there. So I think that's just about all I want to cover this week. If I've missed anything, sorry, there's been so much going on. I'll just mention the fact that work's still going on also with regards to stock car track in there. No news on Speedway at the moment with regards to either a regular team being set up or any events. There's been one brief inquiry about Speedway, I believe, but it's all systems go for the stock cars. First meeting is on the 22nd of May, big banger meeting there. The first Formula 1 meeting is on the 31st of May. So just don't forget, there are a few tickets still left, I think, actually, for both events. So if you look on www.startracks.info, you'll be able to find more info about tickets there. I think that's about everything for this week. So thanks for watching as always, and I'll be back again with another podcast next weekend. So all the best and bye for now.